All right, when you are ready to make the diet for your species, the first thing you're going to need is to know what that species needs in their diet. So you'll have to go back to the slide that shows that what that species needs in their diet. And so here I've got the lion, and I can see what the lion needs right over here. And just because there are so many pieces of information, I am going to write this information down on the slide that I was just looking at, that table where I have to fill everything in. So I'm going to write down that the lion needs 5.5 to 6.8 kilograms total of food. So the total amount of food we want to be 5.5 to 6.8 kilograms. And then I'm going to also write down how much protein and how much fat, and the fact that they don't need any carbs. So protein is 24 to 28%, or at least 1.32. And then fat was 9 to 15%, or greater than or equal to 0.5. All right, and then we said they don't need any carbs, so I'm going to put a big 0 over the carbs. All right, so now I know what the lion needs in its diet. Where do I go to get the options for the lion? That is back to this table that's got all of my options. And I'm specifically going to look at the meat table. There's one for meat and there's one for plants, but I know that lions are carnivores. If you're not sure if your animal is a carnivore or not, you can look at the species information slide for them and you can see what they eat. Right here, I'm seeing that lions eat wildebeest, zebras, buffalo, gazelles, warthogs, that they eat rodents, and that they eat meat. Okay, there's no plants listed there, so that means that a lion is a carnivore. So you can check that out if you're not sure which table you should look at for your species. Okay, so these are the options for the lion's diet. Now, when I'm evaluating what options to choose, I want to keep in mind these things I wrote down on my table. Okay, we want the protein to be at least 24 to 28%. We want the fat to be 9 to 15%, and we don't want it to have carbs. So as I'm looking at this table, I'm first going to rule out the food that has carbs. That's an easy thing to do. So no crickets, no mealworms, no superworms, because these all have carbs, and the lions don't need carbs. So I'm going to get rid of those options. Okay, now I'm going to look at that protein and that fat content. Remember, protein was supposed to be 24 to 28%. And so I'm going to rule out anything that has less than 24 to 28%. So I'm looking down that list. They actually all have enough protein. So then let's look at the fat. Fat should be 9 to 15% of the animal, and so I'm going to look for things that are too low. So this beef is 8.9. That's pretty close, but it's a little bit too low. 6.3 is too low. Here, let's see. Oh, this lizard has only 6.2% fat. That's a little bit too low, so I'm going to cross out the lizard. All right, but now I have a lot of options. So how do I pick what to feed this lion? All of these things are qualified. So what I'm going to do again is just reference this information card about the lion and see what the lion eats in the wild. I've already underlined a lot of this stuff. So wildebeest, buffalo, gazelle, warthogs, rodents, and fortified meat. So I'm going to look in this table and see if I see any of those things. I don't see buffalo, gazelle, wildebeest. I do, however, see a rodent. So let's start with that one. This is going to be my first pick. This rat is a rodent, right? So let me highlight this. I'm going to come down here and fill in that I'm going to use a rat as my first item. So the portion size on the rat was 100 grams. And so this is supposed to be listed in kilograms, and so we're going to have to convert that 100 grams here in just a second. And then the percent that was protein from the rat was 57.9. And then we're going to calculate the mass of the protein here in just a second. The portion size, again, this is the same as right here. So this is just the 100 grams again that we're going to convert to kilograms. And then the percent fat that the rat contains is 23.7% fat. Okay, and then the mass of the fat content, we're going to calculate. There's no carbohydrates, so I'm just going to put 0%, 0 carbs. All right, so like I said, we first need to convert this mass that is in grams to kilograms so that it fits in our table. So the way that you're going to do that is think about what you did in chemistry last year, where you put your given 100 grams over 1, and then you're going to use your conversion factor that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So in your conversion factor, remember you want your units to cancel out. So if grams are on the top here, we're going to put grams on the bottom here. And the new unit that you want is going to go here, kilograms. And then, like I said, there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So when you do this conversion, you multiply across the top and across the bottom. So you get 100 over 1,000. If you type that into your calculator, that's going to give you 0.1. And because we got rid of the grams unit, they canceled out, our remaining unit is 0.1 kilograms. So I'm going to change this up here now, since I converted it, to 0.1 kilograms. And you don't have to actually write the kg because it is in the table labeled. So we'll just put 0.1 here. Okay, now how do I figure out the mass of the protein content? Well, basically, I have right here the information to calculate this. This is saying I have 0.1 kilograms and 57.9% of that 0.1 kilograms is protein. So in other words, I want to find 57.9% of 0.1. So I'm going to multiply my percent times this portion size to calculate that. So let's look at how we do this. All right, I have 0.1 kilograms, and I want to find 57.9% of that. So I'm just going to multiply that 0.1 by the percent written as a decimal. And so remember to write the percent as a decimal. You have to just move the decimal over 2 places. So it would be 0.579. So then when I multiply 0.1 times 0.579, what I get is 0.0579. And so that's what I'm going to put right here, 0.0579. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing then for my fat content. Okay, so I have the portion size of 0.1, the percent of fat is 23.72. So I am going to take 0.1 times 0.2372. That's going to give me 0.02372. And so I'll put that here. All right. Now there's no carbohydrates, so we don't have to do anything there. All right, so the next thing to do is to figure out, all right, how are we doing in this diet so far? We've given the lion 0.1 kilograms of food total. And this portion size, you're ultimately going to add up all 3 of the dietary items you put here. But I'm just going to put 0.1 here for now. This is like the running total. When you compare that to how much it needs 5.5 to 6.8 kilograms of food. It's going to need a lot more food than just that rat, right? So we're going to have to get something a lot bigger when we go back to pick something the next time. The mass of the protein that we have so far is 0.0579. That is a lot lower than the 1.32. So again, we're going to need something a lot bigger. And for fat right now, we have 0.02372. That's a lot lower than 0.5. So we just need something a lot bigger next. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my table. I still have my options. Really, the rat was the only thing I found that it ate in the wild. So I'm going to now just choose from these other options because there's nothing else that it eats in the wild. And so like I said, I want something bigger, right? Because I need to get up to that 5.5 to 6.8 kilograms of food that the lion needs. So I'm going to look at the overall size of the prey. This pig is 3 kilograms. That's pretty good. Chicken and duck, 2.5. Let's go with the pig. That'll add 3 kilograms to the lion's diet. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write down the pig. I'm going to write down the portion size. And just like I did before, I'm going to write down the percent of the pig that is protein, the percent of the pig that is fat. And I'm going to calculate then how much mass, what is the mass of the protein in the pig and what is the mass of the fat in the pig. Add those to my totals and see how I'm doing. And then I'll go back to the table and see what else I need to add.